Good morning, everybody. We got more of the same, and we got yesterday morning. I said I think that today, meaning yesterday, should be at least the beginning of a turn, and we got that with this inside, at least closing above its open. Got this hook, not doesn't it's not that deep, so you're so close to the prior high here. Whereas when you get a little bit deeper pullbacks and you get, this similar type of pattern, you got that gamma gun out there, McGraw. Maybe someday I'll believe in it, but we shall see. You know, this kind of stuff's been going on for so long with, you know, moves that begin and right pullback and nothing, little tiny pullback and chop and, so I don't know. New environments change in the market. Things come and go as far as how patterns develop and so on. Well, I don't know if I read that email correctly last night as far as what they're recommending about something buying calls on crude oil. I'm not so sure what a great idea that is after a multiple day run like this. Anyway, different tools. I'm not opposed to something that proves itself over time that matches up with a chart pattern or in some way supplements a chart pattern. No matter what we look at, even market internals, it's the prices that we trade, not these internal gauges or other things, certainly not indicators, but some measure of what's happening within the markets that can be of help. That's all well and good. So saying the gamma is what's holding this market in place rather than possibly waiting to see if the next shoe is going to drop on next Wednesday. I think Monday's a holiday, and Wednesday becomes a new world. So maybe the markets want to see whatever, and that's reflective. I don't know. Okay. Well, since I don't even know what a gamma ray gun is or gamma, whatever you said, it's got to be easy for me to read it wrong. You know me, keep it simple. Anyway, this kind of little shallow pattern so close to a high becomes more of a trading ranges and what you see going on here on the intraday chart. What could get things moving here? Well, people start buying. Anyway, it communicates uncertainty. I think measure it any way you want. You know, after this length of consolidation and you get a minor move, okay, and this was news as well, and whatever, the news, the election, and so on, the whippiness that went on here. Traders, market participants, however they want to measure what's going on, don't have the confidence to continue to push things higher or lower for that fact. And we see that the dips continue to be bought. So we assume that that is what would continue. But, this, I think at this point, even though this bar here is the one that took out this low and this made a higher low, it ultimately would be the short-term level to break, considering yesterday closed as it did and above that bar's high. This should not go back down below that low. So right up in this level, inside bar, can't be, this already took out the high, but staying in this area here, fine. Down below here, and I believe you'll see some price movement to move down toward that 20 MA, which is aligned with this area there. So, our high here, we're just in a trading range. Boring continues. And I did mention one of the things I mentioned in the weekend letter was, this pattern, a bit unusual of a wide range bar like that. again, related to news and the whippiness that occurred. But on this move up to have this kind of a bar, outside range bar, it's unusual. This market's a little unusual. Qs and Qs, similar thing there. They're kind of bringing up the rear with the FANG stocks finding some stability in this ETF is a helpful measure of what's going on there, and it's kind of trying to perk up and see this rolling over. And this is usually an ETF that does quite well in technology, but communication services. It's got some of the stocks in there that have been were leaders, now lagging. And this has got the looks of a 1, 2, 3 lower. So this, which way this goes, yesterday it showed a little stability, but if it breaks below here, you know, some of the favorite institutional stocks are going to be going lower, and that might come into play with the S&Ps breaking that low that I just showed. So keeping an eye on that. I am actually looking the best as it's holding up here, but just flatlining. If this was one of us, they think we were dead. You can see the closing prices just going sideways there. But overall, until proven otherwise, we view this as being bullish. The thing is, when something's going sideways in an uptrend, of course, we assume it's consolidating and it's being accumulated and it should go higher. But if it doesn't, it tends to have a pretty nasty reaction because right now, what we see on the chart is what is. I mean, people believe this is going to go higher, institutions, and they're buying the dip. And failure patterns are about just that. Patterns like this that for some reason at some point fail. There's nothing here to suggest that's going to happen. But if we should see this turn into a nasty red bar, we know traders, institutions have gotten caught and they start hitting the bid. I appreciate that. I will read the ray gun report a little later in the evening. It's always interesting, I'm going to see what relates to that and what we look at, and if it makes sense, if it's an addition. Sometimes things tend to be overkill, meaning information that you look at in different ways uh, is the same as something else. So for example, like years ago with market internal gauges, I used to look at a whole lot of different things, and then eventually found that most of these things were just different variations of other things, and they have similar information. So it's like, I don't need to look at all of that. And so, but maybe this is something different. We'll see. All right. So Dow looks pretty good. I did notice that jets was moving up here this morning. Some airlines, see this here is at 2270. That's gapping up here above this little area there. And that's a plus for the market. Maybe that gets things going. Airlines moving up. So we'll take a look at that. Russell continues its grind at a higher level. Here, it dipped, came up, just holding that level. Now it's created pivots, and so more positives. Funds are down a bit. No big deal. Here's the dip I explained yesterday about this being the start of a move, and this type of extension away from moving averages and support tend to get little blips. But as far as a counter trend trade as a climactic buy type of setup, would be a better one in the second leg lower, and then you get a deeper pop. Oil we already looked at. Gold is just flip-flopping around here. Silver, similar thing. Just staying away. It was looking great. And on the election news, things that had come out, it's coming out pretty hard. And wait to see how it consolidates. Here's our transports. It looked good. The airline should help that. See how that holds up. But overall, I mean, there are pockets of things that are moving. Some of them were moving. We see consolidations yesterday. So kind of a little bit of a boring market here and there, and a little bit more of a search for opportunities where they're just not all over the place. Right? So anyway, all yours, Dan.
All right, good morning. Yeah, all our positions look fine. We'll go through just a couple of them here. All right, so we have call spreads on Facebook, call spreads on plug. We're getting a gap down. These things just went vertical. Tesla, we have call spreads for Friday gapping down. This Riot is the only one I don't like. We have a 28 call spread, and it's now gapping over yesterday's high. So I'll maybe 30-minute high. Might kill that one. Just looking at all our open positions in my blotter. I don't see any problems. Marijuana up again. XAR mentioned yesterday is a 1, 2, 3. That's gapping up. Our XPEV, we're already long, but that's a beautiful 1, 2, 3 to add over the highs. Solo up a little bit, so that's a 1, 2, 3. All right, let's look at gappers. Delta, I saw came out with earnings, bad earnings, worse than expected, and the gap's up. So do you ever ask yourself, how is that humanly possible? They lost $2.50 a share. How is that possible? The answer is because the market expected worse. So it's a gap breakout here. Greg mentioned jets already. I got a bunch of things here to look at. AI recent IPO. Came in hard, trying to stabilize up a little bit here. I mean, it could be the long-term turn, deep retracement, but higher pivot low now. See it marked off. That's what we talked about yesterday. So our plug is down, F-cell same sector down. These things that could be a nice day trade short also. Look, you got a price void. That could come all the way here to minor support. That would be a beautiful day trade target right there, minor support. So that's a bearish gap from this kind of descending triangle looking thing. NPA. This was NPA space. The space sector now. It looks like that might become a new toy. Space sector. Some company came out and said they're going to make a space ETF. So McGraw sent me a list of the space stocks. We have a short put in this already. Gapping up, and so McGraw, I went through that list. and they're all a mess. This is the best looking one. Came in yesterday was your something something bar. Look at the buying right into the close. Do you think somebody knew something? I would say yes. The gap's too big though. But again, just I wish this thing were just gapping to here or whatever. And isn't that amazing? Did the fundamentals change one iota on these companies, and they're up 15 to whatever percent? It is what it is, we say. Yeah, Jake Lemonade is on my list in here. They're doing a secondary offering. Hey, do you remember McGraw? This small gap down on Jan 8, I did not like you shorting a call spread because it was a bullish gap, wide range igniting to all-time highs. Now with the gap down, now you have two topping tails and a gap down. Now it might be ready. Now it might be ready for a call spread or day trade short. I'll put that in the window. Lemonade. Affirm. Recent IPO yesterday. Look at that. It's wow. It's gap. Well, see, it's gap. This gap doesn't look that big per se, right? On this chart, you just say, oh, it's gapping up to yesterday's high and going sideways. But it's a big gap to the top of this tail. But I like watching IPOs. CNET came in very hard, but now it's gapping up. See, it's gapping way up there. The gap's too big. 75 cents on a $2.25 stock. Now, I would love this if it were gapping, let's just say to 250, and then could take out a 30-minute high. Snap, another company that's joining the banned Trump party. Censorship at its best. I don't know. I don't endorse that at all. I hope they pay for that. Fit. Google's completing the purchase of that. Jets, we mentioned, it looks good. We have this in our ETF trader, and this would let's look for a put spread, McGraw, under this low, under 2170. 961, this big gap breakout, but no pattern, you're gone. BABA, it's in a downtrend. And it's in the news because the new administration is they're talking about rescinding what Trump was trying to do of banning them being traded on the U.S. exchanges. 244. I have no interest in buying this thing, but McGraw put spread under today's Thursday, under Tuesday's low. Vips bearish gap down, but no good pattern. Norbert asking about J&J. Yeah, it's a buy setup. Yeah, I had another buy setup in here. I forget the symbol. We'll get to it. But yeah, that's a buy setup. So yeah, 30-minute high. It's gapping right to resistance, so I'd give it 30 minutes. PayPal, I already posted, Jake. PayPal, I like. We were watching it yesterday, as you know. T2, breakout failure. This is a call spread candidate. Extended weekly breakout failure. Here's the one. Here. Isn't that a pretty buy setup right there? Look, folks, you hear me saying all the time, I like buy setups that retrace in a controlled manner. Controlled, see that? Not in a big old ugly wide range bar retracement. I don't swing those, but that's a beautiful retracement. It broke out from consolidation. Look at my railroad track, 20 and 50 and 200. Yeah, we can buy that over the high. So I put it, well, let me just set an alarm right here, but I put it in a window. August 278.50. Intel, yeah, I mean, it's actually a beautiful 15-minute chart right here, believe it or not. Gapping up over all this consolidation and going sideways. But Morgan came out and gave it an upgrade. It's just so stupid. Ran from 46 to 60. Oh, now I'll give you an upgrade. Joe, it's important because think about what we're doing. This is, remember, the last two MT lives. Yesterday, we talked about trends and trend changes, and then what to do in the seven stock market events. And then the prior week, we talked about our top patterns. So this is a buy setup, and now we're looking for pictures of reversal on minor support in a quality uptrend. So it's controlled retracement means that the strength suggested by that is very strong. It's not a breakout failure. A big old bar means demand was not as bullish. There's Lemonade. JWN gapping down. They came out and said something about their earnings. Maybe day trade, but no great swing. We're in KISS in trail mode. We bought the breakout back here, and we're up very nicely on our call debit spread. TSM, absolutely no pattern whatsoever. That's just a big mess. I think it had earnings, TSM. I see one print up here, but it's just a dash line, so I don't trust it. But I surely wouldn't be buying this far from the 20. I got more of a bearish bias on that. Block had earnings. It was up a little bit, and I don't know if they must have said something in a conference call. That's what this suggests. All right, so Joe, pretend. So look, 756. So this is going to open. Let's just say right here. That's not a controlled pullback. So that's damage. So it's that I have just no interest in, and that's going to take time to heal. Walmart, no, there's no pattern, Grammy. They're telling me there's no pattern. And we actually had a put spread for Friday. And then we stopped it out, break even yesterday. So black is damaged. PIP gapping up, that recent IPO, but no pattern. Delta we talked about, I like that. I have it in the window. PayPal looks great. Closing breakout, downside shakeout, bullish pre-market. That's beautiful pre-market consolidation right there. So I like that both for a short put spread and also a directional. Echo Hotel, this would have been beautiful right on this gap breakout on Tuesday. Look at that. I didn't see it. Went sideways here at resistance. Possibly a day trade, but it's just not my wheelhouse being this far from 20. Romeo, We entered a put spread yesterday, but then I said over the high, you can swing it. In K, gap's too big. EXPR, gap's too big. It's way the heck up here. If it were gapping just to say 120, then I'd say 30-minute high with a target of the gap fill. GME, maybe day trade. It's a bullish gap to resistance and going sideways, but too far from the 20 for me. Jemiah, man, garbage. MVSI, Greg was watching this yesterday. Over yesterday's high, it's not bad. CPE, I like this. Over the high is a 1, 2, 3. All right, McGraw, we can tell me when you do it. I'll look at it with you. This was the gap down yesterday. Their CEO decided they're going to go join Intel. But if we can get like a 1, 2, 3, I would love that short. Dash, I want to watch this for short. Put it in the window. Not well, not as a short, but as a call spread. They're still very juicy over the highs for tomorrow. J&J, yeah, it's gap. Yeah, I talked about this one already, Abdul. It's gap into resistance, so maybe 30-minute high. Plug. This is our call spread. We're already in it. This one's very sloppy, but I said yesterday it could be a put spread. So Joe, here's another example. This wasn't an uptrend, right? And look the way it retraced. It retraced deep and nasty. And same with this. It is a buy setup on the weekly, but see this ugly red bar? It came in with overlapping bars and tails. This is exactly what we don't want to see in terms of quality. Fergie is a 1, 2, 3. That's a watch. It has room on the monthly. I like Fergie. Let me set an alarm 14:30. SIX, we are long in the we had an up alarm. Look at that. It's going, look, we always want the bullish consolidation and retracements to hold the upper 50%. Now we're getting a gap breakout. I have no idea why, but it looks great. 35.26.